Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Focus Activity 10 to 13. This focus activity is called traveling. Today, we're going to look at the language around traveling and the language for different types of trip. Okay, things like if you go backpacking or different types of holiday. Using the past perfect continuous, when to use it, how to form it, and boat idioms, phrases with boat analogies. If you have any questions, please write and type on the comment section, and I can try and answer your questions. The lesson is around 50 minutes long. Let's begin. Wanderlust. How often do you travel? Within your country or abroad? Abroad, outside of where you are from. I currently live abroad because I live in Milan, but I am from England. How often do you travel? Within Italy, I travel a lot because my girlfriend's family live in another part of Italy, and we travel every 2 weeks or every month to visit them. I go abroad 3 times a year, I think, for Christmas and to visit my family, because we all live in different countries. What about you? Do you travel often? And do you travel a lot within Italy, or do you travel a lot abroad? If you like, you can write your answers in the comments section. So how often do you travel within your country or abroad? How often do you travel? Question number 2. Do you travel for business or pleasure? For me, travel is normally for pleasure because all of my work is in Milan. Apart from now, because now my work is online. I do not travel for work. I travel for pleasure, and it is my favorite pastime. It is my favorite activity to do. I agree, Julia. I wish I could travel more often, especially now. I hate being cooped up. The English, to be cooped up is a set phrase to describe a situation when you are stuck in a place. Okay. So right now I am stuck in Milan. So I am cooped up in my house in Milan. Question number 3. What would be your ideal trip? At the moment, my ideal trip would be anywhere. But I suppose my ideal trip would be a trip home to England or a holiday to Mexico and South America because it is a continent I want to visit a lot. What about you? Do you travel for business or pleasure, and what would your ideal trip be? Please feel free to tell me and write your answers in the comment section. What would be your ideal trip? Do you want to go to South America, to, I'm not sure, to somewhere in Asia? I know it is difficult to speak about traveling at the moment, considering we cannot travel. But in a hypothetical world, where would your ideal trip be? Okay. If you have any questions, please write in the comment section and I can answer to the best of my ability. Let's continue. What's your travel style? New Zealand. And to travel without a precise destination. Okay, you would like to go on a round the world tour. Would be ideal, I agree. What's your travel style? Are you a luxury spa kind of person? Hitchhiking, a charter plane, backpacking, stay with the known, aimless wanderer, overplanner, fly solo, group tours, or eat local fare? Okay, we have a lot of different types of traveling styles here. A luxury spa is when you travel with the most comfort. You travel with first class, you go to the beach, you get a massage. It's a very relaxing kind. Hitchhiking? Do you know what hitchhiking is? Hitchhiking is when you wait on the road and you stand doing this in the hopes of catching a ride with a stranger. Okay? It is a little bit less common now than in the past, but it is free. It can be a little bit dangerous as well. The verb is to hitchhike. Hitchhiking is the gerund. Okay? To hitchhike, when you stand on the road and look for a car to stop. Charter plane. What do you think a charter plane is? Charter plane is when you fly. It is an unscheduled flight. Okay? You can rent the entire aircraft. Okay, it is for the very, very rich people. Okay, it is for a very, very rich clientele, we say. Okay, it is not a normal flight. Okay, it departs when you want it to depart, and you can fly from what airport you want to fly from to whatever airport you want to fly to. Backpacking. Backpacking is the traditional type and style of traveling. Staying with the known is when you only go to places you are familiar with, that you are comfortable around. Aimless wanderer. So, Marco, you are an aimless wanderer. It's to travel without a precise destination and without a precise place you want to go. An overplanner is someone who travels with everything prepared already. So where they stay, the activities they're doing, the food they are eating, everything is already planned. Fly solo is when you travel on your own. You have no friends, no family. It's just you and your holiday. Group tours. These are organized activities where you visit monuments. They are particularly useful for places like Japan and Egypt and places where you cannot speak the local language and maybe they don't speak English. They are also useful for elderly people because they don't have the stress to organize everything. And to eat the local fare, is when you sample or you try all the local food, the local culture, the local activities. You are immersed in the culture where you are visiting. What is your travel style, do you think? Are you one of these traveling styles, or do you think you are a combination? Personally, I'm a backpacker. I eat the local food and sometimes I fly solo, but normally I travel with someone. Okay. Traveling solo and traveling with people. They both have their own advantages. If you travel solo, you can do what you like. You can eat at the restaurant you want to eat at. You can wake up at the time you want to wake up. You can do the activities you want when you want. Okay? Okay. Stay with the known. Aimless wanderers. Eat the local fare. We have lots of different types. Interesting. Okay. And we have an overplanner as well. Interesting. Lots of different types of traveling styles from everyone. I think I am a mix. My main one is backpacker. I try to visit everything in a short time and continue to another place. Fly solo and be immersed in the culture. Exactly. This type of holiday. Lots of great answers. Thank you for writing. If you have any questions or there are any words you don't understand, please feel free to write in the comment section and I can try and help you. Let's continue. The boat idioms. Have you heard of these idioms? What do you think they mean? So what do you think it means when we say to jump ship? To jump ship is when you leave without permission to do so. Okay? When you leave something, an activity or a place or whatever, without permission to do so. Okay? It's a verb. So we say, Ben jumped ship. And it means when you leave without other people knowing and without other people discovering before it has happened. Up a creek without a paddle. To be up a creek without a paddle is when you are in a difficult situation. If you are in a creek without a paddle, you are in a difficult situation. So, for example, the coronavirus has put everyone up a creek without a paddle because life has now become very difficult and everything is now completely different compared to before. To jump ship is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just the meaning to leave. Up a creek without a paddle is a difficult situation. It's normally associated with trouble. For example, I will be up a creek without a paddle if I am not paid next week. Whatever floats your boat. What do you think whatever floats your boat means? Whatever floats your boat is, it's basically do what makes you happy. Okay. So if we say, I like going on holiday, I like to fly solo, and I like to, let's see, I like to hitchhike around. The response could be whatever floats your boat. It means do whatever makes you happy. Ships in the night. What do you think ships in the night means? You have any idea? Ships in the night is when how to explain? It is an idiom for basically for people who live together but don't see a lot of each other. It is not a very common idiom at all. So it's when you are in, imagine you live with a person, but you don't see them very often. We say ships in the night. People who do not see very much of each other and they're not in the same place at the same time. It's not a very common idiom. In the same boat? What do you think in the same boat means? In the same boat is when you, for example, you are in the same situation as other people. So all of us are in the same boat with the coronavirus. We all need to stay at home. We all need to quarantine. We are all in the same boat. Our circumstances are the same. Okay? When the ship comes in it's an idiom for when you come into a lot of success. So if your ship comes in the same situation is for in the same boat. When your circumstances are the same as another person, you are both in the same boat. If you are both ill, if you are both happy, if you are both quarantined, you are in the same boat. When your ship comes in is when you are very successful when your ship comes in. Okay, it's the moment that you become successful. The moment the ship comes in is the moment you are successful. Okay. The most common are to jump ship and whatever floats your boat and in the same boat. Those three are quite common. When your ship comes in and up and creek without a paddle, they are not common, but not uncommon. Ships in the night, very uncommon to hear. Okay. Is everything clear, or do you have any questions? If you have any questions, please feel free to write to me, and I can try and answer you to the best of my ability. Okay? Let's continue. Next slide. Okay. Ooh, a lot in this slide. Here we try and practice the language. Okay? So I will read very quickly because you are 10 to 13 students and you are very good students. Okay? Down a rocky road. Down a rocky road is to follow a difficult path. To follow a difficult route. So we need to put the idioms in the gaps. Lauren and I had been together for many years before we took this trip that ended up saving our relationship. Things started to get difficult, and I thought taking a break from our stressful daily lives would help the relationship. I asked Lauren where she wanted to go, and she responded, "It doesn't matter to me." What idiom do we think for number one? What idiom do you think for number one? Number one, I asked Lauren where she wanted to go, and she responded, what do you think? What do you think? The idiom for number one? Okay, Marco. Very good answer. I agree with you. Yeah, probably. Oof, Claudio as well. Good answer. Yeah, well done. The answer? Whatever floats your boat. Okay. I asked Lauren where she wanted to go, and she responded, whatever floats your boat. Wherever you want to go. Whatever you're interested in is whatever floats your boat. It doesn't matter to me. Even though I wanted to, because things had become so difficult for us, I reminded myself that we were both. Okay, what do you think for number two and number three? What do you think for number two and number three? Even though I wanted to, I wanted to leave the problem of the relationship because things had become difficult for us. I reminded myself, oh, Claudio, Elisa, Marco, perfect, well done. Yeah. It's when you, for number two, jumps ship. Okay, so jump ship is when you leave a place or you leave a situation or you leave an activity. Okay, Claudio, you are on fire. Number three, correct. What do we think for number three? Even though I wanted to jump ship because things had become so difficult for us, I reminded myself that we were both in the same boat. Okay? We were both in the same boat. For example, the circumstances, the difficulty was the same for me as it is for her. Okay? Number four. Our story had begun romantically, but now things felt different. Like, number four, what do you think? What do you think? Number four, ships in the night. Well done, everyone. Yeah, like ships in the night. We met one time at a cafe and never saw each other again until a year later. Ships in the night, when an unlikely meeting in this context. Okay. The next one. We fell in love and quickly moved in together. I felt guilty about spending so much money on a trip because if I got fired tomorrow, I knew we would be. What do we think? When you're in a difficult situation, what idiom do we use for when you are in a difficult situation? If I got fired tomorrow, well done, Elisa. I knew we would be up a creek without a paddle. And the last one, I thought one day our ship will come in and we won't have to worry about money anymore, and we can travel wherever we want. In this context, success means money, means to become wealthy. Easy peasy. If you have any questions, please feel free to write to me and I can try and answer you. Let's continue. Past perfect plans. Okay. Using the past perfect or past perfect continuous to form these questions about planning a trip. Okay. So in this activity, we'll be using the past perfect and the past perfect continuous. Okay. The form of the past perfect is subject, have or had, no, had, sorry. Subject, had, past participle. We had played. Okay. Past perfect continuous is subject, had been, plus ing. Okay. We use the past perfect to express or to show an action that happened before another action in the past. Okay. The past perfect continuous, similar to the past perfect, but a continuous action. Okay. Over a longer period of time. So number one, the question could be, how long had you planned your trip? Or how long had you been planning your trip? Okay. Remember, questions, we switch the verb and the subject. Okay. Think about my last trip. How long? My last trip was in Barcelona, but I didn't plan it. So how long had I been planning my trip? For 0 seconds, because I did not plan the trip. Question 2. What do we think? How long had you been dreaming of going there? We use the present perfect continuous because the action is over a long time. You dream of going to a place for a long time because the majority of us don't have the money to go traveling instantly, unfortunately. It would be the dream. Okay, so how long had you been dreaming of going there? The answer might be, I had been dreaming of going there ever since I was a child. Okay. How long had you been dreaming of going there? The answer is the past simple because it's asking a specific moment in time in the past. How long had you wanted to go there? How long had you wanted to go there? It's a similar kind of question to how long had you been dreaming? Okay. Dreaming can be a continuous action, but wanting is more past perfect simple. Okay. How long had you wanted to go there? For the answer might be for around 1 or 2 years, maybe. Okay. The difference between the past perfect simple and the past perfect continuous, the trick is to look at the verb. Okay. If the verb is more continuous that you do over a long period of time, it's continuous. If not, past perfect simple. How long had you wanted to go there? Okay. Or how long had you been wanting to go there? The last one, how long had you known about this place? The last one is only the present perfect simple because you cannot know about a place over a continuous period of time. You either know a place or you don't know a place. Okay? So if the action is in a short period of time, we use the present perfect simple. So how long had you known about this place? I'd known about this place for 5 years since my brother went. Okay? Past perfect simple, short period of time. Past perfect continuous, longer period of time. Everything clear? If you have any questions, please write in the comment section and I can try to help you. Let's continue. Here, we are choosing between the different tenses. Okay, don't worry about making mistakes. Mistakes are a normal part of learning a language. Believe me, you should hear my Italian. It is full of mistakes all the time. So in this activity, we need to choose the correct tense from the context. My best friend and I went or had been on a trip a few years ago that I will never forget. What do we think for number one? Number one, what do we think? I went or I had been? I went or I had been? Number one is went, okay? Because it's a specific action in the past, okay? Past perfect simple we only use before another action in the past. Number two, what do we think for number two? By the time we arrived or by the time we had arrived, we were traveling or we had been traveling on the train for hours, so we were absolutely exhausted. What do you think? The trick is to think of the order of events. So number two, sorry. Let's see. It's the past simple. Okay, by the time we arrived, what about number 3? I can explain number 2 after number 3. Okay. So number 3, what do you think? Number 3 is had been traveling. Okay. Had been traveling because of the order of events. Okay. They arrived, but before that, they had been traveling on a train for hours. The idea is to think of the order of events. The action that happens first, we'll use the past perfect simple or the past perfect continuous. Okay? Okay, let's try with number 5. When we finally made it to Agra, we were noticing how many people there were. In this one, I want you to think of, can you notice something over a long period of time, or do you notice something in a short period of time? What do you think? Okay, write your answers. I can see one person. Okay, 2 people. Well done. Nice, good. We noticed. Okay. We noticed how many people there were. Okay. Nice. Well done, everyone. The next morning we left. We had left early because we had heard, or we were hearing, how crowded the Taj Mahal gets. Okay. Think of the order of events. Which action happens first? Which action happens after? What do we think? The next morning we left, or the next morning we had left? Oof, Marco, answering number 5 and 6. Very well done. Okay. Claudio, nice. Well done. What do we think? The next morning, we left early because we had heard how crowded the Taj Mahal gets. Okay. We left because before we left, we had heard. Okay. They heard about how crowded the Taj Mahal gets before they left the hotel. Okay. After we were walking, we had been walking for hours around the monument grounds. We decided to find a restaurant and try the local food. Okay. What do you think? After we were walking or after we had been walking? Ooh, Claudio, Lavinia, sorry. Marco, Gladys. Nice, well done. Okay. Had been walking. Why? Because after they decided to find a restaurant, okay? They had been walking, then they decided to find a restaurant. The idea is to think of the order of events. We had been wanting to try petha, a typical candy from the city, for years, and it was so good. What do you think? We had been wanting. What do you think? Is it a short action or a long action? Hey, the answer, had wanted. Okay. Had wanted. Not continuous. We had wanted to try Pertha, a typical candy for the city, for years. Okay. We had wanted. Okay. If you have any questions, please write and I can try and answer. Okay. Okay. Travel advice and experience. Very quickly, because we only have a few minutes left. What is the best travel advice someone has given you? The best travel advice someone has given me was to, I think, to always prepare in advance what it is you are doing. What advice can you give to inexperienced travelers? What advice? For me, the advice I would give would be, okay, we use the past continuous to talk about a continuous action in the past. Okay, it's like the past simple, but the past simple happens only over a short time. Past continuous over a longer period of time. Advice that I would give inexperienced travelers, plan. And don't worry if things don't go according to plan. Just try and not panic and try and enjoy the situation, because traveling is one of the best experiences. What have you learned from your best experiences and from your worst experiences? From this is for traveling, my worst experiences. Always make sure you use the toilet and the bathroom before long journeys, because otherwise it can become an uncomfortable journey. And the best experiences, to live in the moment, not to try and take a photo all the time. Try and experience the moment and experience what it is you are taking a photo of. Do you have any travel related regrets? Yes, I regret that I cannot travel more in my life. Okay, a little revision before we finish for the lesson. Okay, to jump ship is to leave a situation, an activity, or a place without the other person knowing. Okay, or it can be to leave the situation and punto. Okay? To be up a creek without a paddle, to be in a difficult situation. Whatever floats your boat, do whatever makes you happy. When the ship comes in is to be successful. The past perfect continuous and the past perfect simple. We use both for actions that happen before another action in the past. The difference between the past perfect simple and past perfect continuous is the length of time of the action. If it's on a long period of time, the continuous. Short period of time, we use the simple. Okay? Thank you for joining me for this lesson. And thank you for all of your answers and for your contribution. If you have any questions, I can try and answer you. If not, thank you for joining, and I hope you are currently surviving the situation, and I hope things return to normal for you soon. Okay? Bye-bye.